what does the Iris hosted solution include in terms of benefits that we believe we can deliver if you were to move to this service? First of all, predictable monthly fees. It's really important that as our businesses, we all know that obviously cash flow and clear budgeting is incredibly important to us. So it's great that we can actually budget this on a real sort of clear basis. It's also really easy to understand in terms of the pricing structure, so you pay per user on a monthly fee. If you have new users onto the system, it's really easy to understand because you just add those users at whatever that monthly fee is. I'm not going to go through pricing during the presentation, but you know, if you want to come and speak to me later about pricing, it's actually really simple to explain, and we can go through that at that point in time. It's also easily scalable, so lots of us in the IT industry talk about elastic IT. So the IT can sort of scale as your business grows, and of course one of the benefits of going into a data centre is that as you add new users into the system, instead of outgrowing that hardware, we simply add more resources in so that you get access to more memory, more CPU, more disk space as well. Quick turnaround. When I speak to people, one of the things they say is actually it's going to be really difficult to move into a hosted environment. I've got all this stuff on my servers, it's going to be really complicated, but actually we find that it's not complicated at all. And we find that from the time that we first engage with people and we go through the audits, we can actually move people into the hosted environment in weeks, not months. It's also an opportunity to reduce your IT overhead. So I mentioned having staff that are perhaps carrying out activities to do with IT that you'd like to sort of refocus on other areas, or you may pay third-party support, and again it's an opportunity to reduce these overall IT costs. Can also demonstrate a really good total cost of ownership saving. So when we often think of infrastructure, we think about the hardware and the cost of the hardware itself, but when you start to think about the cost of your software licenses, and obviously all your power requirements, you've got insurance costs, and you add all these different things together, you can actually produce a really good benefits case for moving into the hosted environments. Also fast performance, so obviously getting access to these latest technologies naturally gives you fast performance when you're accessing those applications that you've got. And the other key thing, I guess, is that everybody gets a common interface. So it doesn't actually matter whether you're accessing the service from an iMac or from a Windows PC or some other tablet device perhaps. Everybody gets served up the same Windows desktop, but everyone gets the same user experience. And of course it genuinely is anywhere access, so anywhere pretty much that you can get an internet connection, you can obviously connect into your applications. There are probably just a couple of exceptions to that, perhaps something like an internet cafe over a public network where we feel that the security sort of policies aren't sufficient. Then there are certain areas that you wouldn't be able to access over the internet. But if you're talking about hotels, or perhaps a mobile broadband stick, then absolutely you can use those to get into the hosted environments. In terms of some of the other benefits, obviously with this we provide support, so we've been providing support over the last 30 years, know us best for the support that we provide for applications, but we've also got a pretty well established technical services team as well. We are a Microsoft Gold certified partner, and so we've got a huge amount of experience, not just in the sort of day-to-day mundane type activities, but also in networks and comms and sort of server technologies as well. If you choose to go to hosted, then one of the things that we will do is that we will work with you and we will get all of your software installed. We'll migrate your data across so that everything that sits on those local servers at the moment will help you move those into the hosted environments. And even when you go live, on the day that you go live and switch over, we'll actually be on site with you to make sure that everybody can connect in, everybody's got access to what they need. And of course, prior to that, when you go hosting, we also set up those servers, put your data on there and give you a period of UAT, so you can actually test out the service, make sure that it's got everything that you need before you actually go live too. We also look after the ongoing management of the servers, so the data centre of course is up 24/7, 365. We've got proactive monitoring, so if there are any issues around those servers, it automatically gets flagged up, and we can obviously fix it then probably before you've even noticed that there's been an issue within those servers. We also provide expert technical support, so when you actually call in, if you've got some sort of issue, then you simply call the same number that you would call for application support, and we can obviously help you out with your Exchequer application and those queries as you used to, but equally we can provide support within the hosted environment. So if you need passwords resetting, or you need users adding to the system, or you need printer drivers setting up, or you've got some other sort of issues or queries, then obviously we can help you with those too. So what does it look like now? I think that probably if you move into hosting for the first time, it provides you with genuinely flexible working. It gives you access on the move, and it doesn't matter what location you're in. You could be in a hotel, you can use any device, and then of course all of your data and your applications sit up in that secure, resilient data centre. So in summary, I did mention at the beginning that we've been working on hosting for a little while within Iris already, even though we're only just launching it now to all of our Exchequer customers. And we've already got over 350 customers using the hosted service. And every morning there's over 4,000 people who fire up their laptops or the PCs and actually connect through to our data centre. I mentioned that it's a fully managed environment, it's scalable, so as your business changes we can obviously change with you and just allocate new resources onto your systems as need be. One of the things that people say to me actually, if they're moving to hosted, is it a multi-tenancy sort of environment where you've got lots of customers sharing the same space? But we actually use virtual servers, so if you move into hosted you still get your own dedicated server with dedicated memory and your dedicated space where your data sits and is secure. It's all supported by Iris staff, so if you've got queries about the hosted environments or you've got some issues, then it's actually Iris staff that support it. We don't back that off as a separate organisation. And all equipment and all of that infrastructure is based in the UK, but perhaps more importantly, all your data is held in the UK as well. And I know that some of you may hold perhaps people's credit card data, and what you often find is if you go with certain hosting providers, they don't give you any guarantees to where your data is going to be held, and some people spoil data off perhaps to other territories like the States and India, and if you're holding credit card data, then obviously you'll know about the payment card industry data security standard, and in that case it's really important that your data stays in the UK and you know exactly where it is. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of hosting and a bit of a flavour for what we can offer. I am going to be around in the break and over lunch, so if you want to talk to me, if you've got any questions about hosting, then please feel free to ask. If you want to talk about the sort of pricing that's associated with hosting, obviously I can go through that with you as well. Your client development managers all know about this service now as well, so if you want to talk to your client development manager, then they can tell you more about hosting. And I think on your feedback forms too, there's a little box that you can tick for hosting. So if you'd like us to send you more information on that, then please do just tick the box there. We've also got a web zone, so iris.co.uk/hosted solutions, and from there you can download our flyer, list some of the benefits that I've talked about today. You can also get a really nice white paper on cloud computing, which provides you with more information on that, and you also get some access to some of our customer case studies too. So with that, I'd really like to thank you all for your time this morning, for listening to me. I hope you have a really good day and a really good afternoon.